What is going on, everybody? My name is RJ.
I'm Desiree.
I'm
Gerald.
Jay.
Dr. J.
Welcome back to the Silver Site. Today is a very special episode. As you guys know, we love movies and television and film and media, but we also love the fact that we're black. And being that it is our month, we decided to take a trip down memory lane and current times and as well as future times, and just have a general discussion of black television, movies, and film and media, and just what it means to us and also give some recommendations of our favorite shows. You can recommend what you like to us. So I just kind of want to go around and just, I guess start a general conversation between friends about our love for television movies. Because after all, that's what brought us together was our love for film, our love for television, our love for comics, all things media. And when you sprinkle a little bit of blackness on it, you get us. So welcome. Um, so I want to start off by asking this question. So they say it's important to have black people in film and television because representation is important. So when was the first time that you saw yourself on TV in a character? I'll go first. I have two. First was My Brother and Me on Nickelodeon. That's when I first saw someone who looked like me, a little black kid. The second time where I really saw myself was the famous Jet Jackson with Lee Thompson Young, and that show was important to me because he was the only one of the few, really probably at the time the only black led show on that network, and just me seeing another black boy who looked like me definitely sparked my love for film and television.
That's a good one. For me, I would say Jurassic Park. As we know, there was a young black, lady that was in there, and or a young black child at the time, and she looked just like me, in my opinion. And so that's when I first, really saw myself and really, even I'll go as far as to say wanting to get into film just because of her. And so that, and then also the Cosby Show. There was a little girl on the Cosby Show, and her name was Desiree, and then it was history after that.
So crazy enough, I didn't really resonate with shows that particular way. I never really put myself in that vein because just growing up, where I grew up, it was like, hey, it was just surviving. So I didn't really think about TV like that. It was an escape, but I never really saw myself that way. I'll date myself a little bit, but I'll tell you, the very first time I saw Eddie Murphy Raw, I was like, that is what television is about. Like, you can be yourself. You can. Now, of course, I wasn't cussing back then or anything, but I was like, that's some stuff that you can get with. Like, you can say what you want. You can be who you are, and you got people of all races just laughing at what you're saying, and just being I ain't no comedian or nothing, but that's what I liked. It was that kind of thing for me.
Oh man, for me, there's a show on Fox when I was about 6 years old called Sea Bear and Jamal. People probably don't know what that show is. I mean,
I
few
remember
people
exactly what
Go
that is.
back.
yeah, that's for throwback. So that was definitely one of my favorite shows because it's just the imagination behind it. And Tone Loc as the voice was just one of my favorite things, just going through the adventures and just having fun. And my other part of growing up, even though it wasn't around my age, was Steel from Superman the animated series, because he was a black superhero, and it just showed me that we can exist too. So
Agreed.
So I think for me, 100% A Different World. A Different World was my favorite show growing up, and it's still my favorite show. Shameless plug, it comes back to Netflix on February 7th every season. But A Different World is my show. Like, I really felt like I was Whitley Gilbert. Like, she was probably my favorite character, even though, some people be talking about her. Like,
who's your favorite? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Whitley.
Oh, okay. I can see
it's crazy. I love Whitley's character, but then she's so different from Jasmine Guy, the person that actually plays it, which is so crazy. Like, if you ever listen to like a Jasmine Guy interview and then you see the character she plays, you could see like how good of an actress she is, because they are two completely different people. But A Different World is like my show. It's my comfort show to this day. Like when I'm stressed, I watch A Different World. And I've probably seen every episode probably over 50 times each. Because at one point it's like background sound for me. I know them word for word.
AK said Jasmine from the Jasmine from the block.
Jasmine Guy is from she's definitely not Whitley Gilbert in real life. Definitely different.
She played a really good character in a show called Dead Like Me. She was the meter maid, and she was freaking crazy in that show. I loved it though. It was a great show. It was like an HBO show.
I was gonna say, Jasmine Guy was also in Vampire Diaries.
She was.
Oh,
Graham.
okay. Yeah.
Bonnie's grandmother.
Yeah, Graham.
Graham. Yep.
The original Fismatos and Cynthia. Don't play with Grams.
Look.
I think that's my favorite role that she played, just because I like magic and witches, and I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but yeah, she was my favorite character in that show.
Definitely, we'll definitely have to do like a deep dive into Vampire Diaries. You know,
the whole universe. We got to dive into that one. That Martin, absolute. I'm sorry, we say.
I was gonna say, RJ, I was gonna jump in and say, you said you love the famous Jackson. So,
yes.
Fun fact: Lee Thompson Young's mother was my professor when I went to FAMU. Yeah, she was my intro to religion professor, and I don't know if she's still at FAMU now, but this was back in the day. So this might have been like 2014 when I was an undergrad. But yeah, his mom was my professor, and she used to tell like very, very, very amazing stories about him and his upbringing. This was after she was my professor after he already passed away. So she would always tell us stories about him, and then how she spoke about him, and she was a religion teacher. So she was a professor at FAMU.
Yeah, rest in peace, Lee Thompson Young.
He was talented, man.
Super talented. Yeah.
First original superhero.
For real.
Say T Wade said that and Martin are my absolute favorites. I still watch them both, man. Martin had me in a stranglehold every night. I just turn it on.
Cultural now.
What do you mean?
Culture. That's culture for us now. Like, yeah. That's culture.
Well, so the fun thing about Martin for me, I know he kind of transcended like how certain trends became a thing. Because I still feel like, Will Smith still had a little bit of that, he was still a little towing the other line a lot more than Martin. Martin was very, very, very pro-black. And he did not stray away from that at all in the set pieces, any of that stuff. So that's why I'm always locked into it. And then, of course, I'll say fun fact, Reggie Ballard, a.k.a. Brother Man from the Fifth Flow, he actually used to babysit my older brother. So,
damn, we all just know celebrities on here, like
crazy.
Well, I mean, I know some.
You know a few, yeah.
I know a lot.
I'm in the country. There's nothing out here but cows.
My favorite. Anything with a movie with her?
I've never seen that.
I don't know if I've seen that either.
What's that about, AK?
I never heard that one.
Never heard of that one. It was BBC called Desmond.
Yeah, Desmond's. Yeah.
It was about a family of Indian immigrants. I've never heard of that. Okay, looks like we got research to do. But this is what we wanted tonight. We wanted you guys to come on here and interact and possibly put us onto some new shows too. So
yeah.
Fresh Prince, absolutely. Now, don't kill me, guys.
Don't come for
me.
I did not, and I know T Wade's probably going to have my neck for this. I did not like Fresh Prince.
Like as an adult or growing up?
Both. Like I literally sat there with a stone face the entire time. And I've watched every episode, but I've sat there with a stone face the entire time. Don't kill me. Don't boot me from my own YouTube channel, please.
Okay. I can understand that.
No.
There's some stuff you can watch and be entertained by it, but not necessarily find it super funny or something that you just say,
Yeah.
I really, really like that. Like I've watched some stuff where I'm just like, I'll watch it because it's something to do, but you don't have to find it terribly funny. I mean,
It
it
wasn't
was
funny at all to me though. Like, I feel like I only laughed at one time where Hillary Banks, will you marry? And then he hit the ground and then it cut off. And she was like, oh great, the president's about to interrupt my marriage proposal. I think that's the only time I chuckled at that show.
You know what, RJ? I can't let you go outside. I didn't like it either. I wasn't gonna say that. I was just gonna let you die.
Thank you.
I was just gonna let you go down on the ship. I'm like, I'm not gonna let you go outside.
Oh my gosh.
I was not a Fresh Prince fan growing up. As an adult, I appreciated it a little bit more, but I was not a Fresh Prince fan. And I wasn't a Martin fan either.
Okay, now we gotta turn your camera on.
Whoa.
I was
Well, hold on, but no, I think
Sorry.
that's legit because I do have to say.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jay.
Anything you're saying now.
Martin,
okay, hear me
funny.
out. You gotta hear me out. Okay, I'm Caribbean. My
Okay.
parents are Caribbean. I come from a Caribbean household. Like my parents didn't come to America until they were in their until they were in their like late 30s, early 40s. Right. I grew up in an all Caribbean household.
Okay.
50 points to Slytherin, though, please.
Hear me out. So those shows I never even really watched. Like it wasn't a thing in my household. And this is gonna sound weird, but it makes sense. Black culture and Black Caribbean culture are two different things.
Yeah, okay. I can agree with you.
In my household, like I said, my parents didn't come to America until their late 30s. So they spent the majority, all of their childhood, adolescence, and I guess until middle age, adulthood in the Caribbean, right?
Okay.
So, like for example, I never had collard greens until I was a freshman at a HBCU. I was like, "What's this?" Like,
okay.
I'm Caribbean. We didn't have that. My parents didn't cook that.
Okay.
Like I remember, I came.
I'll give you some grace.
From a spring break, and I was like, "Mom, can you try baking the macaroni? That's how they make it here." Like legit. Like I'm like, it sounds weird, but I'm like, if you grow up in like a Caribbean household,
yeah, that's a different.
Even though I'm Black, the cultures are so different. Mm-hmm. So those shows, like my parents wasn't into any of them shows. Like it didn't like resonate.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only reason I watched A Different World is because I would go to one of my cousin's house and they're clearly Caribbean as well, but they didn't have cable and it would be on replay. And I would come home and I'm like, I want to watch this, right? So Fresh Prince and Martin, it didn't resonate with me. I think I got into it a little bit more like when I went to a HBCU and everybody kept talking about Martin and like Berman from the fifth floor. I was like, okay, I didn't get it. Yeah. But I'm like, I still don't love him. If I was to go on a ledge, I would say I love Bel Air more than the original Fresh Prince.
Oh, girl. Oh,
so
well, all right.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Enough.
So I do gotta say this though. So as far as the Jamie Foxx show and the Martin show, I'm gonna be honest. Fresh Prince definitely was the best out of all the shows. Like those other shows that had, I guess. Well, I mean, Martin was really a family dynamic, but shows like that Cosby Show, I still think were more superior to Jamie Foxx, Martin's, and the other kind of like goofy spin-offs.
Well, the rest is spoiled.
You about to mute both of the James here in a second.
Hold on. No one came for RJ when he said he didn't like Fresh Prince. The comments were kind of silent.
Martin is different.
No,
Martin
I was
is
coming
different.
for RJ. RJ.
So I am not gonna give Jay too much of too much pain on that because I don't think I didn't watch Martin that much. I didn't watch Jamie Foxx show that much, but Fresh Prince I still did watch because I think it was the best when it came to like the family dynamic, and it had so many great moments and it taught us so many lessons as millennials in that era. So I think it was a really important show for Black people. But I mean, not every Black person could always relate because that's just the way it is.
But I think they did that in each of those shows. Did that in their own way. Because Jamie Foxx was a transplant with his aunt, and then he was learning that business while he was trying to break into the show business himself. And then Martin was, you know, a bachelor, but he was dating, had his peer group and all that stuff, and they had a lot of things happening too. So their family dynamics were different, but they were just about, sometimes it was just about watching somebody survive their day, you know, each episode. So
thank you, RJ. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I think those shows were just, to me, classics in the 90s. I think especially Cosby Show and Different World, those are just really good shows helping you prepare for college or just prepare for certain situations. I think it helped certain people just to relate. But
yeah, so and it's good that you said that. So going off like being able to relate. So I think with all of us talking, I think we realize how important Black culture is to TV in general. There, for lack of a better term, we are the blueprint. Look at Living Single and Friends. Come on, wouldn't be friends without a Living Single.
Correct.
So, I feel like you can't
absolutely.
hate Living Single.
You can't.
You can't hate Living Single. And I think Hulu did it justice when they brought it to their platform to allow people to binge it. I feel like the greatness of it I feel like Living Single is one of those like super underrated Black shows. Like it's either you watched it or you didn't. But I feel like when it got to Hulu, it like it rejuvenated it and let the younger generation like catch on to it.
I agree with that.
I think it's important to expose, you know, all generations to all forms of Black TV, because one thing about Black people, and this goes to what you said, you know, before about Caribbean culture and stuff like that, is like Black people are not monolithic. You know, there's something for everybody. You have shows like The Cosby Show, then you have Snowfall, you have shows like The Shy, but then you also have shows like Insecure. So there's Black TV, I feel like, is one of the most well-rounded types of media that we kind of get to see. And one thing I can say, you know, with my whole chest is I'm so proud of how Black television and Black producers, Black writers have really put their foot forward, put their foot down when it comes to creating Black shows and authentic Black voices, which is kind of why I understand why Family Matters really wasn't as big to most people as Fresh Prince of Martin, because Family Matters wasn't written through the lens of a Black family. It was written through the aside from the racial
what they thought we were,
but that was written for
TGI Friday, which was very Caucasian, and it showed in the writing. Yeah, 100%. It had to flow. It had to flow with those other shows. Yeah, you know. So if you see Full House, well, Family Matters couldn't be the anti that. It just had to be the Black version of that. You know?
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
So and the crazy part about it, they touched on a lot of things, but everything was so watered down.
Everything
was just so watered down.
I'm not gonna lie, that gang episode scared the hell out of me though. When they tore up Rachel's shop, what were they, the dragons or whatever they were? That kind of scared me. And when Laura got shot, well, not Laura, when they stole Laura's jacket.
Oh.
And then her friend, they was like, "Give me your jacket," and she's like, "No." And like, "Give him the jacket.
Just give
him the jacket."
That was wild.
Yeah. I agree with T. Wade. Moesha was written very well, and I think the Parkers was as well.
Yeah.
I love Moesha. Great show.
I think the biggest thing for me that once I reflect on it a lot is it was like all of those shows were kept in a box a certain way, because everything came on like UPN and all these like them little side channels, and it was like you had to have a certain cable package to even get them, and you might catch a rerun once if they made it into, you know, the rerun, you know, deal. But it always bothered me because they always had a different hue to them, and I was like, that made them look cheap. And it just bothered me all the time watching stuff like that.
You know, was one series that I never actually got to like, that I always missed on like every time on a certain network, was the PJs. Never watched all the episodes.
It started on Fox though.
The PJs made me nauseous. I don't know why.
It was on Fox, and then they ended up. It was on Fox. Then they ended up moving it to like one of those
I can't
cable
remember. It wasn't
channels.
TBS.
Yeah.
It was
I watched it
Fox.
as a little girl. But Jake already knows me and my sister legit quit going to Girl Scouts just because, our meetings were on the same day as the PJs. Like my mom just let us have it just because we wanted to watch the
Pulled
PJ.
you out.
I love that show. That show is so funny. I just never got a chance to watch all the episodes.
It's so wildly inappropriate. It's
And my parents let me watch it, but they wouldn't let me watch other kid shows.
right. It made no sense.
To watch the PJs.
You watch the PJs, but you can't watch like certain Nickelodeon shows.
Yeah, like Ed, Ed and Eddie. They had a problem with that, but like I could watch the PJs.
Like what? Yeah, my mom wouldn't allow me to watch Ren and Stimpy, but
I was just about to say Ren and Stimpy. They would never let me watch that, but I can watch Boondocks and PJs and all the other stuff.
everything else, yeah.
Right.
T-Way says the Parker seemed more like a caricature of Black women to me, and to an extent, I can agree with that. I really, I didn't like the characterization of Nikki Parker. Sometimes she did come across as very desperate, and if I'm being real, ain't no way you about to play in my face and play me for what 5 seasons, and then now I'm about to get married, and now you come to. We're not doing that.
Hashtag lopsided lovers. I agree, but I feel like The Parkers is one of my favorite shows. Like that's another one of like my background sound shows. Like whenever I'm doing something, I need something to play because I've seen the episode so much. I already know they're about to pledge the grapes or whatever they call it. I'm like, but you know what? I feel like this generation now, certain things that were acceptable back then is not acceptable now.
Oh, it's rough. It's rough. Yeah.
It's very interesting watching the Parkers, especially if you're in a plus size community or however you deem yourself, and how Nikki and Kim were portrayed back then. That couldn't be a new show that aired on like a Netflix nowadays. Because
a lot of these shows wouldn't be hard to,
you're right. A lot of them, it wouldn't be acceptable. I like the Parkers for the comedy in it, but I guess if you're really to pull back the veil and see, it could show that you made it seem like this Black woman who just happened to be plus size, who just happened to be a single mom, who just happened to be a late starter in college, is so desperate to get this one person that paid her no mind for over 100 episodes, and then finally it's like, oh yeah, you're the one, let's be together, I love you now. So yeah, I could see how they kind of played in her face. But you know what? I feel like that's one aspect, but I feel like that doesn't encompass the whole show, because I think it's still a great show. The life lessons, just the mother and daughter dynamic, and I feel like a lot of people who who may have grown up with a single mother and just with their mother, they could kind of relate to the dynamic of
because it was like this.
Yeah.
Well, there were tons of I 100% agree, because there were tons of like carry over into people's personal lives that could get them through. Even if it was one episode that resonated with somebody, that might have made them stay. And a lot of times I thought about when I watch shows and I really kind of go back and think about it. Again, I didn't put myself in those places more than I said, man, they actually have the courage to still talk about this stuff. Yeah. Because of course, we don't have a lot of us writing the checks.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And so you got to have somebody believe in that vision and what that looks like. Because I was thinking about, my wife was rewatching Girlfriends, and I remember laughing thinking about the fact that the freaking executive producer is Kelsey Graham,
which is
like
crazy.
Right.
That's wild.
And so I'm like, to think that he's like, look, I'm not even gonna touch it. Just do what y'all do, and we'll just see what happens. Now, would you catch me just sitting down watching it? Not at all. However, they taught a lot of lessons and had a lot of interpersonal bonding and things that happened that would like really make somebody be like, yeah, girl, y'all got me through that, you know, dealing with whatever these situations are. So it's always weird how these shows do connect, and you just have to have that believability for somebody to keep pushing for things to go forward.
And the fact that the game is a spinoff of Girlfriends will always be crazy to me. Like
I never believed that story. I'm like, y'all just told us that. Can't. I just never believed it. I've heard it so many times. I was like, Stop lying to us. You just wanted to watch it. The funny thing is, out of all the shows we mentioned, it's interesting you mentioned the game. So the game with Derwin and Melanie, not with Blue and Lauren London's character.
I don't even know who they are.
I don't remember Lauren London's character's name in the game, but she was with Blue, who became Issa's boyfriend on Insecure. But I feel like the game, at least the Derwin and Melanie era, I feel like that's so stamped into our culture. Like, I feel like there's so many arguments about the game. Like when I was on Twitter, now named X, I would go in on people when it came to the Derwin, Melanie, and Janae conversation. Who was wrong? Who was right? I was always team med school because Melanie ain't never do nothing wrong, even when she cheated with Trey Wiggs. Like,
yeah,
it was a great show. So, I mean, I was entertaining. I mean, it was just one of those shows for me. I definitely watched just because I think, there's still some things I could have pointed out that I don't like. In terms of like, portraying how we are, but I think it was still just a fun show at certain points because it was drama filled, like you said, and people were definitely talking about it back then.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that these shows that we fell in love with back then definitely, whether if you liked it or not, were the blueprint for a lot of the shows we have today. You take Insecure, you take Harlem even, which I still need to watch season 3. You have Atlanta. Like, there's something for everyone. And that's what I love so much about Black American culture. We aren't a monolith, as RJ was saying. There's something for everyone.
Or how it translates into other cultures in a way where you can blend the show. I'm thinking about Abbott Elementary, how you can take a whole bunch of different people and take an idea and roll with it. Now, is it very vanilla at times? Sure. I would 100% say that. But what I do like about it, I love the fourth wall breaking personally. But the humor in it, to me, feels very organic. Because sometimes something will happen and it will 100% just not be funny, but it's so funny because it's not funny.
Right.
And I just would crack up because I'll be like in the scene, they're just sitting there like, that's supposed to be a joke. Like,
that's attitude. I was on the floor. I don't know why I laughed so hard at that. Like when Gregory had that hat on, and like it was like that's attitude. Like I was on the floor. Like that was funny, but I was screaming.
I was laughing a second ago because Des made me think of of Atlanta, the episode where the guy he was trying to get his haircut the whole damn day, and he would not get his damn haircut because the dude was just BSing, and he's just like, let me, come over here and I'll show you a little something. And then I'm from Atlanta, so I know how everybody moved down there, and it's just like,
BB, and then BB, he was BSing the whole time. Gave him some Zaxby's that was already eaten up and everything. That was my favorite episode.
No, what got me in Atlanta was the invisible car. That was genius. He's like, dog, he got an invisible car, and they showed the pictures. Like, that ain't no car.
But RJ, it's the best, one of the best episodes. It was uncanny as hell. Was the episode where they went into, I guess, Michael Jackson's house, or the clone, or whatever, and then he kidnapped them.
That show is so unserious, but has so many important messages.
But that
because it makes fun of certain events.
But that just speaks to how there's a show for every Black person, and y'all know how much I be dragging on Tyler Perry, but he has his audience. There's a specific demographic and the type of people that enjoy his shows, and that's what I love about Black media, Black television, Black film. Like, we're so multifaceted that there's something for everybody.
Tyler Perry.
You went out, Jay.
You cut out.
You went on mute, Jay.
Yeah.
Nope.
You still on
hit the microphone on.
Oh, there you go. Nope.
Oh, we still can't hear you.
You're still far away.
But he was saying the Tyler Perry episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was saying the Tyler Perry episode was funny.
They're all funny. I love that show. There's so much good Black TV on. That's why I feel like when people say things like, I don't watch Black shows, and it's like, no, you just haven't found the Black show that's for you, because there's something out there that you can watch, whether it be Insecure, whether it be Atlanta, Snowfall. And I'm not a power person. Like, I haven't seen a single episode.
Turn off your camera, sir.
I can't.
Turn off your camera.
I'm not supporting Power. I'm sorry. I just don't like 50 Cent, and I'll say it.
I
with
will not support 50
Take
Cent.
Desiree as well. You feel like y'all did me. Do her.
Oh, wait, why did I get the boot? I had a real legit
I'm going to submit this as my resignation.
In Black History Month, G? You're in Black History
Gosh.
Month? You can't resign during Black History Month?
I'm a quiet quit on y'all if y'all keep playing with power like that.
I can't. I haven't seen a single episode.
Okay.
I
Is
haven't
it
either.
because, are you one of those people who haven't seen a single episode because everyone talks about it and you feel like you don't need to watch it? Or do
That's
you
how my son did. He did that.
Some people
Dude,
do
I saw all the
that.
stuff on. I'm like, bro, you can't get TikTok can't make you have watched it, sir.
Exactly. Or do you genuinely, you don't like the plot and you feel like you just can't sit through it? Like, it has to be a reason.
I feel like I just don't have an. I know, y'all. I know. I just don't have an interest in it. I feel like there's certain shows that I got a lot of interest in, or certain genres of a show. Like, I've seen The Wire. I haven't finished The Wire. You know,
I haven't either.
I love The Wire.
So I can get into it, but I can't. It doesn't pull me in.
Yeah, for me,
You're gonna kill me later.
About The Wire, I don't play about The Wire.
I just don't support 50 Cent, and so that's why I can't. I don't watch his stuff, and I'm just being honest.
He's a clown.
Yes, he is.
Who, 50?
50 Cent?
Oh yeah, I can't stand him.
Yeah, so
but I can
it
watch
has a lot to do with the writers, producers, stuff like that. If I don't support you, I'm not going to watch it. That's just a personal preference.
And I can't hate on you for that.
I'm like, I think if there's any celebrity I'll never talk bad about is 50 because he gonna get his lick back one way or another.
Oh yeah. Hopefully nobody's gonna screen record this and we'll go viral for talking shit about 50 Cent.
I ain't never said that.
Look, I'm in the industry. I'm in the industry. Send it to me.
I still like wearing your cologne.
Go on ahead.
This is my favorite fragrance.
I have nothing to fear.
Listen,
it's my favorite fragrance. I love Power by 50 Cent. Give me a whole box if you can, sir.
Listen, the new season.
I didn't say anything bad.
I would never talk about 50. You're not gonna take the money I don't have.
I'm just not a fan of his stuff. I don't dislike him. I just not really.
Yeah, I'm just not. I can't get into it. I don't know, but like what T Wade said, there's something for everybody. Like they have, drug-related stuff, women-only stuff, sex, sci-fi, whatever you want. There's always something out there for you to watch when it comes to Black TV. But I want to shift a little bit. And I want everybody's personal opinion. What is your favorite, Black television theme song? Which one? Who got the best theme?
Wow. Fresh Prince.
Okay, it's iconic.
Yeah. C-Bear and Jamal, definitely.
I'm gonna say mine, but y'all gonna either be like, what the hell is that? Or you're gonna have to get off this live and then really sit down and listen and appreciate it. Okay? It's half and half.
Half and half.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
The journey of discovery.
Yeah, I love half and half.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
they had real vocals on that theme song. Like they had real vocals. I love half and half. Another underrated Black show though. Yeah, I feel like it's underrated.
But also, man, it's a tie between that and then Static Shock, man. I don't know. I really like the intro for that theme song.
Okay.
Superhero Static Shock. Especially
sketchy. What about you, Gerald?
So this is obviously I didn't see it when I was a kid. I started watching it later, but the Jeffersons. Honestly.
The Jeffersons, I could see why.
I respect that.
I hate that loud ass theme song. That's Jefferson so loud.
I love the Jefferson. I know that in Good Times was loud.
Good Times.
Good Times does have actually a good catchy intro. I don't know why every time it just gets me
super loud for no reason.
Oh, yeah, they it was like they were all turned up like on those.
The 70s had some loud theme songs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. Yep.
And
Hey,
you know
man.
what though? We should also. I think
Sherman
we
Hensley.
owned the Good Girls, or no, sorry, not Good Girls, Golden Girls theme song. We own that because we took that and we sung the
Yeah, that
heck
guy.
out of it. I
Yep.
think that's an honorable mention. Okay.
Yeah. He sung the hell out of that.
Yes.
What you know what? One on One actually has a good theme song too. Listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I
Yeah.
forgot about that show. That was so good.
That was a
The
good
show was corny to me, but I like the theme
Yeah.
song.
And Sister. I like the Sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the remix when they straighten the hair that season. Yeah.
I forgot there was a remix.
Sister.
They just had to get extra with it.
Yeah.
T-Wayne say no all the lyrics to the Jefferson theme song. Are you sure you know all the lyrics?
Are you sure you know all the lyrics?
Are
Oh
you
my
sure?
gosh.
I watched another one that I forgot about that I did watch growing up was the Different Strokes, just because I'm adopted. I related to that
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
only because I was adopted, and I like that's something that I connected to. But the intro is a little bit catchy. I don't know why.
It was World Don't Move, Beat Just One Drum. I watched a lot of TV growing up.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow went hard. It did.
That was hard.
It did. So let me ask y'all this. Within the past like 5 or 10 years, if you had to recommend one black show for somebody to watch, like what would you recommend somebody watch? Like one black show.
That's from the last 5 or 10 years?
Yeah.
Lovecraft Country.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Insecure. I would say I'm late to the party, but I think Insecure was good.
I was just
Insecure is just a well-written show all the way through.
Yeah.
You took mine. Okay, but then I would say Atlanta. Just watch it.
AK, yes. Watchmen.
That was my
Oh,
second choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, I was gonna say Atlanta, but I was like, wait, that's more than 5 years ago. That's why I
thought-
didn't say it.
Yeah,
Wait, it's more than 5
Watchmen-
years ago?
Atlanta
What? Damn, I'm old.
came
I feel
out in
old
like
now.
2016.
It did?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
what I
like
was
it
gonna
was
say. But I was like,
yesterday.
It flew by.
What?
You know? Time be flying.
Damn.
Okay.
I feel old now.
Watch Atlanta. I'm just playing. Okay, how about this? P Valley for me.
P Valley. Okay.
P Valley. You
Yeah.
know, I love P Valley, but they're almost taking so long with the next season. I feel like they could keep it, but I love P Valley though. P Valley is one of those shows. Like I feel like it has to be a good show for me to actual binge it, and I think I've seen I've binged it like maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
P
We got
Valley's
come
my
on with
show.
the second season. We got to see Uncle Clifford. Okay, I miss Uncle Clifford.
Yeah, I'm ready to go back down to Chuckalisa.
Chuckalisa.
Chuckalisa. What's the pronunciation? Chuckalisa.
I don't know. I don't think nobody
Chuckalisa.
pronounce anything right down there. So.
I want to give a really big shout out to another old series that Gerald you might know about. The old one that's like super old, but Blade TV series.
Yeah, with
Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it was interesting. We'll say that. I mean, it was deep. They had some good choreography, but storylines was like,
it was average.
Yeah, my man brought back the old New York Undercover with Malik Yoba.
Okay, that show scared me. I don't know why.
Oh, does it?
Like it's not a scary show. I feel like there was a fire one time at church on the show, and I think ever since then, I think they were singing like "We Come This Far by Faith," and every time that they sang that at my home church, I thought the place was gonna catch fire, and so like the show traumatized me from that because I think kids burned up in the fire.
Oh
and I've
no.
been scared of the show ever since. Like just hearing the theme, I just nope.
I feel like every Black person has that. A certain song just, you can't listen to anymore because it traumatizes you. Or
Speaking of traumatized, I have not watched them yet. I gotta watch at least I watched a couple episodes, but I need to finish that.
I've seen the second season. I didn't know that it was because someone told me it was an anthology, and then when you get to the end, it ties into season 1. So I'm like, well, dang, I would have watched the whole season 1 if I knew they tied into each other like that.
Wait, what show was this?
Them.
Oh, Ven. Okay. Ven. Oh. Dang, Sticky
From
Fingers.
another
That's
Black
weird.
Led show. Yep.
I saw Keenan and Kel in the background, and
oh yeah,
and
Keenan
that's
Kel.
definitely a show.
That did nothing for me, man. I couldn't.
What?
Nothing.
Girl, you gotta go.
That's hilarious.
I was probably at football practice when that was.
Come on, that's where our love of
couldn't do
orange
that.
soda came from.
Yeah, I'm good.
Who loves orange soda?
I respect it though, Gerald, because I mean, I think you're the type that, you know, I mean, you like comedy, but it has to be kind of like a more strict comedy.
No, I like a wide range of stuff, but like that, I think I was probably a little too old once that really got popular. So I was into other stuff.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Never mind that. I thought.
Yeah, I
mean,
get that.
I would go and watch certain things, but that just didn't. Yeah, that wasn't doing it. Nickelodeon was kind of off the radar at that point in time. So
yeah, I get that. It's the same reason why, as a kid, I didn't watch Martin. I just thought it was a little bit too old for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't get the jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I do get it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I respect that. Okay.
And I think that's where a lot of times there's a big, disconnect sometimes. Because even when I'm having conversations with my son, I stop talking because I be like, bro, you don't understand me. I don't understand you. I don't understand your stuff. You don't understand my stuff.
We just gonna.
We're not gonna make either right. We're not gonna make either one of us believe what the other one's saying. So
right.
Yeah. Because there's some shows that didn't make me laugh either.
Keenan and Kel wasn't like a Nickelodeon staple, but it was really, really big because they came from All That, which was basically Saturday Night Live for kids.
Right.
Had musical guests and everything. Did y'all see when Deborah Cox was on there singing the hell out of "Nobody's Supposed to Be Here for Them Kids"? They don't know what you're talking about.
But you got to remember that, man. Listen, entertainers are just being entertainers. They ain't in there singing to the kids.
Hell out of that song.
They trying to get their next album going.
Like she sang like she was at the Apollo.
Yeah.
Because look, that's the Deborah Cox. Okay.
Right.
Madam Deborah Cox.
Deborah Cox, yeah, like but yeah, Keenan and Kel was good. It wasn't like the biggest show on Nickelodeon, but it definitely hit. Kel to me was a star of that show because he was more funny.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure more people know Keenan because Kel is like Black famous.
Yeah.
Keenan has always been my celebrity crush. I love me some Kenan Thompson.
I'm sorry,
what? I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
that Keenan is a celebrity crush.
What? I've never heard anybody say that.
No.
Listen, well, Keenan, if you've never heard it, let this be your first.
Oh my god.
Nah, y'all. On TikTok. You should see the comments. There's a lot of women that have a crush on them.
I will say so. I love Keenan, and I'm a book girl. I'm a book girly. I also read his book he released last year. His book was 10 out of 10. If y'all haven't read Keenan's book, it's also really good. But yeah, Keenan has always been like the one for me. I love Keenan. When he got divorced from his wife, I was like,
oh my
God. He was waiting. He was like, this is my chance.
Got that swoop together. And it's like, wait a minute.
Here's my opportunity.
Yeah, I was like, how can people not like Keenan? Like, come on now, he cheated.
Ain't no wrong with that.
Okay.
Very brave. That's crazy work. Very brave.
Very brave.
Very brave is hilarious.
I cannot.
Y'all don't like Keenan?
No.
That's funny. I've never heard those words together in a sentence.
I mean, I like the Good Burger movie. He's funny in that.
Yeah, he's funny in that.
Y'all watch SNL?
No.
Okay.
It's not
funny. He's the longest running cast member. But
you wouldn't know the Keenan facts.
Man.
You know Keenan facts like how Jay know comics.
I'm like, I guess if Keenan has one.
Oh my gosh.
Kenan Thompson, born on May 24th, 1972, at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday.
I cannot. All I keep seeing is Good Burger. That's with the hair and
Yep. Dr. Dre, I think your camera's frozen.
yeah, I think it.
Her
okay,
camera
yeah.
is protesting.
I love it because he ain't even really popular in our community like that. A lot of us
Not,
don't
yeah.
Well, it's his. I think it's his crossover status.
Mhm.
And so he's been very. I think he. Golly, I'm trying to equate him to somebody. Where it's like he's really never going to get that complete black nod, unfortunately. Because he toes the line. He plays those roles on Saturday Night Live. He does those things, but he just, like I'm always gonna see. No disrespect to the dude, man, but I always see just the cheesy, fake black smile on his face. That's what I see. I'm not trying to hate on the kid, or the guy, but that's what I see.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
thank you for saying it. I'm smiling for a reason.
Well,
yeah.
I get it.
Like, no, I get exactly what you're saying, man. Yeah.
Man,
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then what is some?
He's done some good stuff, like as far as just being out there doing. Even when he had his own show, I thought he had his own show briefly. Like I think it was like a little sitcom.
Yeah.
I think he was like an advertising dude or something, and he had a daughter. I think he had a daughter. Yeah. Matter of fact, what color was on there with him? Don Johnson was like his father-in-law or something on the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was matter of fact, he was a news dude. That's what it was. Because they would always have these corny little segments where they would like do all these pitches for what they're getting ready to do. And it was like that. Yeah, Miami Vice Don Johnson was his father-in-law. So I randomly remember that, man. I
never knew that.
Yeah.
Dang.
It was a few years back, like within the last 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Okay. So what are some new black shows everyone's watching, like newer? Because I know there's a lot that came out this year, and I think last year too.
Cross is on my
Watson.
Oh yeah. Did you wait? Yeah, Cross.
We actually reviewed that, so y'all can go back and check that out as well.
Yes,
we did a review on that.
Give the video a like.
Yeah, and then they got
this one too. Like this one too.
So then we just started. Watson just came out with Morris Chestnut. Then we got Paradise.
Paradise is so good.
Okay.
The jury's still out of my brain. I'm struggling right now trying
to
connect the dots. I watched the first 3. I'm just like, I don't know.
I like it. I like the writing. And I believe it's from the same writers as This Is Us. And I love This Is Us. So I'm gonna stick with it. I think it's really good.
I think it comes on again. I think it comes on tonight.
Ooh.
I think they said Tuesdays.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a weird day, but anyway.
It is.
But really, I just been really keeping up on more of the movie. I guess that another part of the Upshaws was out.
I like the Upshaws.
That's right.
I do too.
I'll say this: I have to apologize to Wanda Sykes because I thought she was not funny.
I told you, man.
But after this,
I told you.
I was on the floor.
I told you. I'm telling you, man. I said you need to watch it.
She's funny. I'm gonna watch that last part.
But no, Mike Epps is not funny in that.
He sent me a text that was like, man, I don't watch nothing Wanda Sykes do. I said, I'm telling you, you need to watch it. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, she's really good at the self-deprivating stuff.
Yeah.
But still be able to, commingle with the rest of the castmates. Some people, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Kim Fields in it a lot more than I thought I would. I was a little nervous when I first started. I was like, I don't know about her. But I believe she's believable as the mom. I think Mike Epps, his character is just too. I just think he's too corny. Like it's like he tried too much, or trying to be funny all the time.
I was about to say, there's 2 Dr. J's.
We're gonna talk about Keenan twice.
Go
I
ahead.
know. He done started a new show.
You know, so there's some Keenan hater that cut my internet appearance. As soon as I started talking about Keenan, I got cut off. Internet my whole house.
Let me put my screwdriver away.
Look, that was the ancestors, okay?
Somebody trying to take you out.
I was like, what did Keenan do to y'all?
Just go to your router.
Yeah, Mike Epps is all right. I mean, I feel like there's certain people, especially when there's certain people when it comes to like, you know, stand up and movies. I feel like some people are better at stand up than they are movies, you know, like Kevin Hart, for an example, and like people like that. I feel, and same with Mike Epps. I feel like he's more funny in movies than he is stand up.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
wrong about that.
Yeah. Because the last stand up he was in with them tight leather black pants, I was clowning him. It was Jay knows. I was like, what the heck? With the pop belly and the black leather pants. I was like, who is his stylist? Why?
Not the belly.
Yeah, look. But yeah, I think his strength is definitely in film. Like Friday, you know, or next Friday after next.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, I know it may sound weird, but I think Next Day Air, I thought he was pretty good in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most Def.
Yeah.
He's definitely better on screen than he is like in front of a mic.
Yeah. Then the Wayans brothers the brothers, but I think was it not Keenan, Damon Wayans and Sean, the youngest one. They have a show on Paramount Plus now.
They do, yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
I think it's called like Papa's House or something like that.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's the same kind of rehash jokes talking about getting older, you know, surviving that, you know, living under your daddy's thumb because you're still asking him for money, but he married, and you know, it's you know, they try to modernize it by throwing like he go from being like a radio DJ or radio. Oh, there we go, Damon and Damon Jr. You're right.
Oh yeah.
There's like 20 of them, man. Gee,
right.
Man.
It's a family affair.
Yeah, and then they kind of morphed it into like a podcast. So
yeah.
Did you watch Wayne's growing up?
I did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I don't think I did. I watched the show, but that was actually a pretty funny theme song.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah.
The Upshaws.
But I think it's okay for black shows to be okay. You know, they don't.
Oh, you must have froze when we started talking about the Upshaws.
Yeah, I just thought. I
gave RJ a hard time because I had asked him about it, and we actually were texting. And he was like, "Man, I ain't watching that Wanda Sykes." And then he got on here talking, "Man, she's actually man, it was actually funny." I said, "I told you, you got to watch it."
No, that's my mom's show. She don't miss an episode.
I love the Upshaws.
Yeah. But we kind of talked about how Mike Epps wasn't as funny in that. So to me, I just feel like he's doing too much, trying a little too hard to be funny.
I was gonna say, do y'all like Mike Epps in Survivor's Remorse? Because I liked him in that show.
I thought he was good as the uncle.
So I don't watch him, but I don't watch him. I didn't watch him in that, but I'm trying to think. It was something dramatic that he was in, and then I'm gonna tell you, I can't think of it. I'll have to probably look it up, and then I'll probably randomly say it on another live. The boy Deon Cole, I love his dramatic stuff.
Yeah,
like From the Harder They Fall, but then what was that? Average Joe. That show was that show was good.
He's pretty good.
I think I saw one episode of that, but he's been having some range lately with like the more emotional side.
Yeah.
So I'm liking it. And you know what? I mean, me and Dez we watched the movie with Wesley Snipes and the show with Wesley Snipes and Kevin Hart. Forgot what it was called.
Oh, based on a true story.
Yeah, thank you. Based on a true story. Yeah, and you know what? I think that's the only time I actually seen Kevin Hart actually put a little bit of soul into some acting.
Well,
'Cause
he did okay. He did okay in that other one. It wasn't good overall, but the one he was in with oh boy from golly, where dude was in the wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
But they basically,
Bryan Cranston. What's the movie?
Yeah.
called?
Bryan Cranston.
But they basically kept him from trying to do any kind of African accent because I guess he's supposed to be playing I guess he's playing a Nigerian guy, but they didn't give him a Nigerian accent.
Yeah, because it's based off of an older movie too in a book, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like a reboot. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about that? Something that G just said. When y'all are watching shows, right, and they cast people who aren't of a specific culture to do the accents, what do y'all feel about that?
It depends. Let me say this.
I agree.
Because if it's one thing for a British person to play an American, I can kind of eat that. Unless it's like Cynthia Erivo with the comments that she's made about black people, then go play a British person then. If you don't like black people, if you don't like black Americans. So
I
for
agree.
me, it bothers me, but it doesn't. Only when you don't appreciate the culture that black Americans have brought to film and television.
Mhm.
That's when I have an issue with it.
Because
Yeah.
we're the most studied and the most copied, so it's kind of disingenuous to play that role or get into that role and say something like that, because it's you guys copy us and you mimic us all the time. So
Yeah.
don't
For
try
me,
to
it's
say that we're
the-
not the blueprint of everything.
Yeah, for me, if they're playing someone who's historical to our culture, that's something I kind of have an issue with. You could get someone of that specific culture to play or portray that historical figure. If it's just maybe a British or African actor playing an African American, I have no problem with that. But historical wise, I'm talking about my Martin Luther Kings, my Harriet Tubmans. Don't touch.
Yeah.
Well, just
I
kind of
agree.
like when how Will Smith just butchered that guy's accent when he was playing that African doctor about the
Yeah,
on the
with the
CTE.
concussions in football.
That was bad. That
That
was
was-
like he did a terrible job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
they should have
and-
actually gotten someone.
That's
who
a
was
prime
that.
example, though. of,
Yeah.
like,
But it's
what not
almost
to do.
it's almost as if you would say though, why not, if you do just want the person to play this role, why not just let them play the role without trying to do the accent if you can't find anybody else?
Yeah.
Right.
Because
I've been saying that.
at least you're still trying to tell the story. Now, if people want to complain, be like, listen, we didn't want to do any disservice to this man's heritage by trying to get somebody to fake this accent for a whole movie.
Yeah.
And it was bad.
Because after that, honestly, I'm gonna say it's not believable. It doesn't become to a point where we believe that this person is actually portraying another voice or another part of a region that they come from. It's just
Yeah.
just the
And
way
it just
is.
opens up xenophobia, stereotypes, and you just really want to be careful, I think.
I see your wheels turning, Dr. J.
I'm not gonna lie. I
She just
think
thinking about Keenan. She and daydreaming thinking about Keenan.
What's on your mind,
all.
Dr. J?
She
What you
zoned
got?
out for a minute. She dissociated.
She's like,
that's
doing
not
right now.
true. It was like Keenan aside. Let's put him Keenan aside. Unless he's watching.
Oh gosh.
I was gonna say I always feel okay, so I think when it comes to Caribbean culture, I always be offended when you get someone who's not Caribbean to portray the Caribbean accents. Because to me, I could like tell when it's not real automatically.
Good.
Yeah.
Like
Good.
you have a Trinidadian doing a Jamaican accent. I'm like, he don't even sound Jamaican. Or you have someone from Turks and Caicos doing a Guyanese accent. Like I think those type of things probably trigger me a little bit more automatically. Like Cool Runnings, like shows like y'all seen Cool Runnings, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, of course.
I don't think
Yeah.
I heard of it.
Yeah, so like shows like that, I think it triggers me a little bit more.
Yeah,
And
especially
then-
when you got all Americans trying to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but I think it's just like a me thing. Even like when they're trying to do like a Jamaican accent, then they got they automatically have the closed caption on the movies. I'd be like, Jamaicans speak English, what's your problem?
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what? Why do you? We okay? First off,
But I'm gonna be honest with you though, it depends on how fast they're talking, because sometimes that speed of the language sometimes can throw you off.
Or they speak in
Yeah.
patois,
Yeah, it's
like
like,
Luke Cage when they were.
Listen, I think it just I think the culture depends on it because like I'll hear some other accents. Like I have friends from Antigua and Antigua.
Yeah.
Oh, Antigua, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
something like that.
Antigua,
I was like, don't roast me. I'm like, y'all know what I'm talking about. And a lot of times when they speak in their native accent, I'm like, wow, like it's harder to break down, at least for me. But you know,
yeah.
But what T-Way said, what did she say? Talking referring to Cynthia Erivo, she said something, and I don't want to like put words in her mouth, but she said something to the effect of Black Americans are ghetto and we don't have culture.
It was the extent of the lines of that because it's
Yeah.
we all know that's not true, but just when you say things like that, you just got to be careful because you still have an audience, and especially when you do big movies like Wicked, it kind of disrupts the industry in like not in good ways, but you need to appreciate where you get your culture from.
Yeah.
Your rhythm from.
Same.
Yeah.
Halle Berry. So yeah, no African accent, no nothing, just Halle Berry in a wig. Like that's just what it was.
It should have been Angela Bassett, but
It
you
should
know,
have been. Didn't she turn it down? I feel like she didn't. She say she
I
turned it
heard
down?
she did, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
So she turned it down. She had a lot of stuff going on, but also it's just because her agents were trying to get her more money, and the studios were like, but she also wasn't sure about the character, so she kind of just like backed out.
And we got Halle Berry.
Yeah.
And then we got even worse, Alexandra Shipp. That happened.
I think that bothered me more than Halle Berry.
Absolutely. She was terrible.
That's a second chance. Like,
and then it was so funny on Twitter. They were talking about rebooting the franchise, and then she like was kind of like cocky and was like they weren't gonna reboot it without her or something like that, or like no, that's what it was. She was like, y'all really think they're gonna recast? And then they announced that they were recasting for whenever they didn't do it, and people were like, "Who was that? What were you saying?" Like, I would delete my Twitter. That would have been it for me, man.
This is why you don't speak too soon,
right?
And she should know that as an actress.
She should. Speaking of like recasting and like drama,
just about to say,
let's talk about the Jonathan Majors situation with now there. And I think this. We haven't got an official word, but I think that Disney kind of put that out there to test what the fans' reaction was, and most people that I've seen are like, yeah, like I would offer him his job back too. But there are other people who think that he shouldn't take it. And I also understand where they're coming to because y'all didn't, even when he was acquitted, I felt like when he was acquitted or not guilty or whatever happened, or he was found guilty of hitting her while he ran away. The fact that they didn't immediately give that man his job back, to me, I feel like it's a slap in the face.
Yeah, I
feel like there was enough. I feel like there was enough time to buy time. Because since they had already finished Loki season 2, they knew they were going to still show Victor Timely. They knew they still had an opportunity to not say anything about what happened to his character in Ant-Man and the Wasp, or Ant-Man, whatever, Quantumania. They could have left all that stuff out, but they purposely tried to go ahead and squash it up front. They could have stopped talking about it and just shifted gears and still be in the spot where they could possibly offer him his spot back. But just to actually undo everything and try to shift gears and bring in Robert Downey Jr. back and all that crap, I feel like what they're going to find out is when Magazine Dreams come out and they find out that he's a way better actor than they were trying to give him credit for, and something else going to hit, then they're going to be like, dang, we should have stuck with him. We should have sat back and let it ride. Because at the end of the day, the damage was done, but the court of public opinion keeps pushing too much stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. We don't get a lot of leeway. They'll let them other folks just ride it on out. Like, you about to bring Johnny Depp back, so y'all about to throw the bag at him to come back and play an old tired character.
Look at Tim Allen's past. Look at Robert Downey Jr.'s past. Like,
there's so many of these actors. We forget. Well, some people forget at least that they're still people. They're just regular people, and they do people things. You know, they're gonna mess up. They make mistakes, but it's not fair to judge just one person out of all the other people, especially because we know why, because of this. But I think that he does deserve another chance, and I know this whole situation is messed up, whatever people's opinions are, but honestly, I kind of do agree with RJ though on this. If I was him personally, I probably wouldn't take it.
I wouldn't.
That's all.
What else does he have coming down the pipeline?
Oh,
right now?
That's a good
Well, they
question.
finally they shelved Magazine Dreams. It's going to come out this year.
Okay.
What's going to happen though is it's going to be better than people probably giving it credit for, because they tried to just bury it in the midst of all that. But I think he's going to probably have to take a couple of lesser roles.
Is that what's coming out on Zeus?
No, that's what's coming. That's going to the theaters.
Yeah, it's coming to theaters.
He has something coming to Zeus.
To Zeus?
Oh, really?
Like
Network.
The one where they be fighting at? That one?
Yeah, Batty Shot O'Clock Zeus.
Like what? What? Like
yeah.
Why would he do
Jocelyn's
that?
Cabaret Zeus.
Yeah, like why would he do that? Like
Real Husbands of
I
Hollywood
haven't
or
heard
something.
that.
Yeah. Right, like Zeus.
He said it.
So here's my, I guess what this is why I say here's my issue. I feel like there's too much that happens where you got these non-melanated executives making these decisions about these actors, and they're only getting part of the story, and they're worrying about what the blogs say. They're worrying about what everybody's saying that's paying the peanuts, because it's not always that many people trying to stop the train for real.
Mm-hmm.
So
go ahead.
I had to do a quick Google search because I'm like, I know what I'm talking about. I know he coming to Zeus. I wasn't gonna go outside. I was like, let me do my Googles before y'all track me. And I was right. So the CEO of Zeus, Lemmy Plummer, he's an executive producer on Magazine Dreams. And for the film to come out, they've partnered with Zeus.
Okay.
To get the film to come out. So it's also going to come on Zeus, but I was like, I know he got something coming.
RJ's face.
I was like,
it's still embarrassing.
Like, why would they do that?
It's still embarrassing. Like for what?
Like what for?
It's still embarrassing.
It's funny the reaction we have to certain things, because like when you tell certain people Zeus and Tubi, they be like,
I'm like,
like, are you talking about Dollar Tree? Like,
look, you couldn't torture that secret out of me if my stuff was on anyway.
Listen, Red Hope couldn't
it's
beat
black
that.
owned.
So Dr. J,
I got a subscription.
Black owned, I got support.
I'm not going. I be watching Baddies and Jocelyn Cabaret every Sunday. I even watched 2 Ways with Erica Mena last week.
They ain't tired. They still hanging.
That's where
Jay, I had a
Powerpuff Girl talking about black TV, and like we said earlier, there's something for everybody.
This is black owned. They get my $5.99 a month, and if we talk about price, they're pretty affordable for all.
Yeah,
it's for all cheap. Economically.
Yeah.
So Zeus they're helping to back that movie being able to go to the theaters.
Yeah, and the CEO of Zeus is one of the executive producers of the movie.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
See, when I read that information, I guess I just kind of skimmed that piece, but I didn't know it was like all it's connected like that.
Jay, I was going to tell you that I had this Powerpuff Girl video that I threw up on my TikTok page, and it's kind of blowing up. And then someone commented underneath that because it's Buttercup that had she was like swinging, throwing elbows, and someone said, "Put her on Baddies." Put her on Baddies.
put her on Baddies Midwest. Matter of fact, the new one is Baddies Africa. So,
oh my God,
let's get to the motherland.
Oh my Lord. No, not the mother.
Yeah, the Baddies going to Africa.
All black shows matter.
Honestly, RJ, that might be a good T-shirt.
It
Not
might,
gonna lie to
all
you.
black shows matter.
Well,
even
I mean,
Madden.
considering we don't get a lot of opportunities to last. You see, they already canceled what you call it
Yeah.
on Hulu. The
Dang
what was
it.
that girl's name? That
Yeah.
was in she was working in the airport.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of the show though.
They canceled it after one season.
That wasn't Yvette Nicole Brown, was it? No.
No, it was oh no, not that one.
Does anyone in here has anyone in here
Exactly.
watched I Am a Virgo?
No.
I started it.
You and I watched it.
Huh?
I'm a Virgo.
That's the one with the big guy who go like a move quick.
Oh, How to Die Alone.
Oh yeah. We didn't finish it though.
What's her name? Me being a racist, calling her Yvette Nicole Brown. That's clearly not Yvette Nicole Brown. Like, why would I see that?
How to Die Alone is the show I'm talking about.
Yeah. How to Die Alone.
It was Natasha Rothwell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, definitely not Yvette Nicole Brown. Sorry about that.
She's hilarious.
She killed it in Insecure.
Wait, that's Kelly, right?
That's Kelly.
Kelly. She was in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that's Kelly from Insecure.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Yeah. And they didn't give it a second. And the crazy part, they set it up for an easy season 2. Came back and said, nope.
Yeah.
She was. I read the Variety article. She was pretty bothered because she just felt like it was out of nowhere that they just decided to pull the plug.
Yeah, and shout out to Jocko Sims. He's one of my homies now. He was on the show as well.
Okay.
I love him. Dr. Reynolds.
He's really nice. He tried to spoil season 5 for what was it? New Amsterdam, because he knew I watched it, and I had to tell him to shut up. Like, don't. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
New Amsterdam is my show. That's what I'm saying. That's Dr. Reynolds from New Amsterdam.
He's really nice. He's a nice person.
I can't believe they canceled that. Did it get a definitive ending, or was it just like, "Nah, you're done"?
No, it's done. They actually announced it, I think, last night or today.
Shit.
Yeah.
There's that, I guess. Okay, well, that's that. But yeah, Black people are not a monolith. We are multifaceted. We come in all shades and personalities and everything else. So with that being said, enjoy Black television. There's so many Black, shows out there, past, present, and coming that, someone can relate to. We love what we do. We love who we are, and we love seeing ourselves represented on the big screen. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to come back the same time, same place next week, and we will see you then, later days.
Go see Captain America: Brave New World.
Yes, go see that. And one of them days.
Support.
And one of those days.
One of those days, yeah. Go see that.
Or is this one of those days?
Yeah, one of those days. Something like that. Go see it. All right, later.